Is anyone surprised here? You shouldn't be. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals temporarily blocking Joe Biden's student loan debt forgiveness program. Now, this plan was going to cancel up to $10,000 for each person who has less than $125,000 in yearly income. If you had a Pell Grant, 20 grand in debt for you could be canceled. Now, I'm not really sure how you have debt and a Pell Grant at the same time, but that's a different story, and I digress. How much was it going to cost? Great question. Glad you asked. According to NPR, this is going to cost $400 billion US. Now, that could be a low ball amount. I'm thinking like over $1 trillion. We're talking about student loan debt, which is a very big bubble, but they said 400 billion. That's just what it is from NPR. Quite a bit of money to cancel 10 grand in debt. And also, if you don't know, the average student loan debt per person in the US is about 37,000 and change. So 10 grand from that, I guess it's okay, but you could do a little bit better, I suppose, if you're going to hand out free money. But different story, I digress. So the plan has been blocked. Now, people are upset. They're incensed, talking about, oh, these Republicans, they're getting in the way. They hate poor people. It's like, well, hold, wait a minute now. Just wait 1 second. First of all, you're not going to have all your debt canceled. That's the first thing, because remember, when Joe Biden was running, they were talking about, oh, it should be 50 grand, 25 grand, like a higher number than the 10 grand. So if you have 100 grand in student loan debt and you got 10 canceled, you still got the other 90 to deal with. So you're still going to be kind of in a similar boat. So why does it make a difference? Maybe you shouldn't have gone to school for underwater lesbian basket weaving. Maybe that shouldn't have happened. But again, I digress. I knew it wasn't going to go through because Biden was trying to do it by himself. And I knew this would just be a way to try and generate votes for the midterm elections. Look at the timing of this ruling. We're at the end of October. November is almost here. In 2 weeks or less, we will be in November. Okay, midterms would be right upon us. So I guess the message that they're trying to send by putting this out there as far as the student loan debt forgiveness is, we're the Democrats. We love you. We got your back. We're going to take debt off of your back. Don't worry about the inflation that is going to cause. Don't worry about the crazy inflation right now. Yes, you're getting paid more at your job. Yes, there are more jobs out there, but you're going to pay 20% more for chicken, 125, 200% more for gas at the pump. Don't worry about stuff like that. We'll take care of it. We'll take that debt off of your back and just add more inflation to your pocket than what already existed. But anyway, I knew it wasn't going to work. Biden was trying to do it by himself, and he can't do that. Why? Because you got to have Congress. You got to have the House and the Senate vote on that. And as of right now, they don't have the votes. And they won't have the votes after the midterms because there's going to be a red wave. Biden's not doing a very good job in office. It's so bad that he doesn't even want to, people don't want to be seen next to him on the campaign trail. I think Fetterman, whatever he wants to refer to himself as, I think he's the only guy that I've seen with Joe Biden throughout this entire campaign. The guy out there in Ohio, not J.D. Vance, but the other guy, his opponent, the Democrat, has not been seen with Joe. When they have people on television, some of these candidates that are Democrats right now, and they ask them about Joe, they distance themselves. They want to dodge questions. Even the Kamala Harris, when she's asked about running in 2024 alongside Joe, is dodging the question. He's a toxic person, not doing very well, and that's making the Democrats suffer as a result in the midterm elections. So I think this was the way to generate some support for these Democrats in the midterms without Joe Biden being out there himself as a toxic figure weighing them down. But of course, it got blocked. Now, it could be kind of a 3D chess type thing because people are saying, oh, we got to vote more for the Democrats in the midterms so we're able to get the votes to get this whole thing passed, which is crazy because you wouldn't pass something like this to help you with your finances. All it's going to do is be inflationary, all right? And it's unfair because you're giving basically $10,000 to people that went to college and got into debt. Now, if you have college debt, I'm not judging you, but what I'm saying is it's unfair to those who did not go and get into debt in college. And it's also unfair to those who paid off their student loan debt. Okay. I had a little bit of student loan debt. I didn't have really that much. I think my total debt was less than $10,000 when it was all said and done. I think it was like $7,000 for like 1 year of a 4-year college, but that's a deep, long story. And I digress. The whole point is that I paid my debt off, no problem. Never missed a payment, was never had a deferment or any collections or anything like that. Do I get 10 bands in my pocket? Do I get that kind of money in my pocket? No, I don't. What if you went to a trade school and you got a skill in a particular thing? What if you became a welder, carpenter, brick mason, plumber, engineer, and you didn't go to a 4-year college? Do you get the 10 grand in your pocket? Do you get 10,000 crispy US dollars in your pocket? No, you don't. So it's kind of an unfair thing. And again, it's going to be inflationary because it's going to cost $400 billion. Where is that going to come from? They're going to print the money and spend it, adding more and more monopoly, fake fiat dollars into the pool of available cash that's out there, which makes the inflation problem much worse than what it is. Now, I have an article right here. I probably won't read through too much of this, but I'll link to it in the box. I think this is going to be blocked permanently because the core issue here, and I called it from the beginning, as soon as it came out, the core issue here is that Biden cannot do this without congressional approval. He's got to have Congress say, all right, we're going to do this. He can't just do it by himself. That's probably why the judge blocked it. Okay. Now, let me see if they have a particular reason here. Let me see. It's unclear what decision means. No. A Circuit Court of Appeals issued a stay while it considers a motion from 6 Republican-led states to block the program. The stay ordered the Biden administration not to act on the program while it considers the appeal. Okay. Well, the appeal is probably based on the ability of Joe Biden to be able to do it. He needs to have congressional approval. Now, the executive branch can do certain things, but I think $400 billion in spending, $400 billion would it be, may not be one of them. I don't think that is what he can do. And it will probably go all the way to the top. Will it go to the Supreme Court? I'm not really sure if it's a Supreme Court type thing, but it could, I suppose. But if it goes to the top, it's going to be DOA because constitutionally it's improper and I guess you would say illegal for him to do this. So, it's not really going to happen. I was seeing people on Twitter applying for this and, I don't want to bust anybody's bubble or run in your parade, but I'm like, it's not going to happen. You can apply for it, but ultimately it's not going to come through. It's not going to pan out for you. This was just a way to get people to come to the polls. And then when it gets blocked, of course, it's going to get blocked. But when it gets blocked, look at the timing. Right before the midterm elections, that could be a way to galvanize them to get out there and vote for Democrats so they can get more House and Senate seats to be able to pass it the traditional way rather than relying upon the Biden administration themselves, Joe Biden himself with a pen, like Obama with the pen in the phone, the BlackBerry, remember that whole thing back in the day? Rather than relying upon Joe Biden to do certain things that could be potentially illegal or improper or just not align with our laws in the country, which means illegal, they can go to Congress and have them do it. So I'm not sure what to say. I'm not sure what's going to be the end result. But as I close, I want to say this. There shouldn't be any student loan debt forgiveness outside of what you already have. There are some things you can do for student loan debt forgiveness, but to be like a blanket thing, 10 grand, it's not even really going to help, in my opinion. 10 grand, it's not, if the average student loan debt is like $40,000 and you're going to get rid of 10 grand and you're going to spend $400 billion to do it, how is that really going to help the U.S. economy at all? I'm not really sure. I don't know. I think the government should get out of the business of student loans because that's what's created the problem. Student loans have ballooned into ridiculously high numbers as far as how much they cost. I mean, you got guys and girls that are 21 years old with 6 figures in student loan debt on their back. You have a house mortgage with no house. It's just too much. The reason why they cost so much as I close is because the federal government guarantees the loan for the institutions. So they can write a blank check. And then the government will come and get you however kind of way they can, garnishing your wages, taking tax returns, emptying your accounts, make it count or whatever. Now they're trying to get into your PayPal account, empty that as well. So they get their money however they want to get it. They'll print it. They'll spend it. They'll steal it from you. Gunpoint, robbing your digital accounts. They do whatever they want to do. That is a problem. And as long as that problem exists, the federal government guaranteeing these loans, you're going to have this student loan debt bubble just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it won't get smaller anytime soon. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what said you? How do you feel about the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals blocking Joe Biden's student loan debt forgiveness program? Whatever your thoughts are, y'all let me know in the comments below. You guys should know where I'm at. This is the correct thing to do. We got to get around this tax and spend. It's just getting too much, okay? This is a good step forward. Hopefully it gets permanently blocked. But the next step would be to have the federal government get out of the student loan business, get out of it. If that means a few normies can't go to college and get a degree in underwater lesbian basket weaving theory or football helmet training analysis, okay, whatever. Because that person is only going to get a big mountain of debt on their back to go be a Starbucks barista. And that does not make any sense at all. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.